Hi everyone, this is Hannah again, the owner of Weekist. I help private practice owners generate leads, book more consults, and schedule more procedures with Facebook ads. And today I will be talking about the 5 Facebook ads audiences you can try if you are out of ideas. So with the iOS 14 update, I'm sure that some of your audiences in the past that have been working may not be working anymore. And these are some of the audience ideas that we've seen work for some of the clients that we've been managing. So first, and actually my favorite, is open targeting. So when we say open targeting, it means there are no lookalike audiences, there are no interests in the detailed targeting option of your ad set. And the only thing that you set is just the demographic, so which is the age as well as their location. So if you are targeting people in the US, just set the US and then their age, their gender. That's it. And what we found is that for some people, this works really well because it's giving Facebook a lot of leeway to look for the right audience that's most likely to convert. And Facebook has a lot of data. So don't underestimate the amount of data that Facebook has to find the people that will convert. As to whether it's high quality leads or low quality leads, that's up to you to find out. But in terms of conversion, in terms of getting that result, whatever you're optimizing for in your ad set, then Facebook can find those people if it has enough budget and enough leeway to do that. So open targeting, I can show you later how to do that, but it's pretty straightforward. Just remove the interests, just make sure you don't have lookalike audiences, and just set an exclusion for anyone who opts in so that you don't keep retargeting those people or you don't put your ad in front of the same people over and over. And yeah, pretty straightforward. Interest or open targeting. The next one is 10% lookalike audience, and this is using email, and then stack it with interest. So you might have heard of the term stacked audiences, and it's really just combining lookalike audiences and adding interests in the detailed targeting. So 10% is pretty broad. Most people just go for 1, 2, 3%, but when you go 10%, of course, it's not as closely similar to your target audience, which is most likely the people in your email list or your source audience that you're creating, that you're using to create your lookalike audience, right? 10% is pretty broad, but combined with a couple of interests that you're sure your audience is interested in, that's pretty powerful. So if you have a good list, if you have a list of at least 1,000 people or a high quality list, maybe you have had 1,000 buyers, you can create a lookalike audience of 10% and just add a couple of interests and see how it performs. The third is trying a 3% or 5% or 10% of your lookalike audience, wherein the source is your website audience. So people who have visited your website. You can be very specific with this, like people who have visited your landing page. So that means people who are interested in your offer, or anyone who's visited your website in the past 180 days, or you can narrow it down to 60 days if you've had a lot of traffic in your website, but normally we just use 180 days. The key here is obviously don't stack 3%, 5%, and 10%. If you want to try these at the same time, then you can add or create one ad set with 3% lookalike, and then a 5% lookalike, and then a 10% lookalike. So don't stack all of them at once. The fourth one is interest audiences. And with interest audiences, we've been taught in the past to be as specific as possible. However, since the iOS update, the audiences in those interests have gotten smaller and smaller, and Facebook has less visibility in what people are doing outside of the platform. Interests that they're associating people with definitely have gotten smaller. The data that they have to work with have gotten smaller, and so it's not as effective as it once used to be. A lot of the brands in your industry most likely cannot be targeted. I suggest trying a broad interest. Like if you're targeting musicians who'd be interested to learn how to practice more deliberately. Instead of targeting auditions, target music and see how that goes. Instead of targeting very specific musical instruments, maybe you can have an ad set for that. Have an ad set that targets a broad interest like music. And the final audience is lookalike of pixel event audiences. So with pixel events, I am referring to standard pixel events such as page view or lead, complete registration, and other things. And the most likely events that you'll be using to create lookalike audiences would be your lead standard event, your purchase standard event, your initiate checkout standard event. The requirement for you to be able to create a lookalike is, of course, you should have these standard pixel event audiences set up. And it's very easy to do this as long as you are using standard pixel events on your website. And I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. Okay, so we're back in Ads Manager, and I will be showing you how to create a stacked audience. I've created a new campaign, a conversion campaign, and we will be going to the ad set to add our lookalike here. So add your lookalike under custom audiences and choose a big one, like 10%. And then scroll down over to detailed targeting and there add the interests that your audience is likely interested in. I will choose something like Forbes or business magazines, and you can add as many as long as it's very closely related to the interest of your target audience. I've duplicated the ad set that I was creating earlier to show you how to create an open targeting ad set. And it's super simple. Just remove any custom audiences that you have. So make sure there's no lookalike audiences under custom audiences, or there is nothing here. Absolutely nothing. Set the location, set the age, set the gender. So let's say our target is about 30 to 55 women. And you don't have to change the gender setting if you're targeting both men and women. And for detailed targeting, make sure nothing is here. That's it for open targeting. I have duplicated the previous ad set that we've been working on to show you how to create pixel audiences or pixel-based audiences. So just click on create new and click on custom audience. As you can see, I did that here, and then click on website and then click next. So you should be able to see events under here. Unfortunately, my website is pretty new, so I don't have any standard events like lead or purchases on it. But if you have that properly set up, you just make sure to select those. So most likely, if you have had your website for a long time, the lead standard event should be showing up here, and you just select that. Once you've selected that, you can then save it as a pixel standard event or an audience based on that standard event. So anyone who's a lead gets saved to that custom audience. And from there, once you have that custom audience created, you can create a lookalike audience of that audience. So easy peasy. Okay, that's it. Those are the 5 audiences that maybe you have not been trying yet in your campaigns. And I recommend that if you have some extra budget or if you're feeling adventurous and wanting to discover new audiences that might work for you, because we're in a very weird phase where a lot of the things that used to work doesn't work anymore, and definitely go out or go into your ads manager and try it out. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment and I'll gladly return to you as soon as I can. Thank you so much. Bye!